Alright, what's up guys? Today gonna be using some of the plastic that I got, or not plastic, the colors and glitter that I got in yesterday. Gonna be making 2 batches in this video. So in this first color, just gonna do a simple watermelon with red flake. My cousin is gonna buy this color. And then the second color we're gonna be doing, I'm not sure of the actual name for it, but it works really well on a lake near us. I went fishing with it on a lake with him, and I'm not sure if it was that we were in the honey hole or not, but every single cast, it was a fish. So we're gonna start with 5 drops in there. We'll mix this up, see where that gets us. This is our hard plastic. This is all the saltwater blend, so I'm pretty sure that this should sink in fresh water. I think. I'm not sure. Probably test that out in today's video. But good start to that. Do think that it needs to be darkened up just a hair. So we'll add 5 more drops. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last drop is a big drop. Hopefully this goes according to plan. Hopefully I don't mess this color up. Then we're also, as watermelon red, going to be using red flake. And then for this other color, y'all let me know the name of this color down in the comments if y'all have ever fished with it before. But uses brown, and it's got pink flake and some like green flake in it. So you're going to be using some Faluska glitter and some green glitter. That I'm using the emerald green, maybe? It's either emerald green or evergreen. So, looks pretty good on camera. Let's get it a little bit closer. But I do think that it needs to be a little bit darker, just in order to really show off the color. So we're going to add 5 more drops. And that should be just right. Might be a little bit much, but it'll be alright. Yeah, that's the color that I want. It's a watermelon green. So now we're going to take my gloves off for this right here, because I do have to tear to open this bag, which I'm not excited for because I don't want glitter to go everywhere. And I also there's also a little Velcro zip lock on it, so that way it can't go anywhere. But I really hope glitter doesn't fly everywhere. Okay, it didn't fly everywhere like I thought it was. So with this, we got a cup of plastic, so do about a half of a scoop to start. This is freaking cooling down fast. We're gonna add maybe a 1/4 of a scoop now. So I think it needs just a little bit more. That did not go where I intended for it to go, but it happens sometimes. Alright. I'm gonna throw this back in the microwave so that way I can actually mix it. But that should be just about where I want it. I'm gonna try to get all this glitter off of the sides. It's not really working all that well. Throw that in the microwave for 30 seconds and I'll catch y'all whenever that's done. Okay, got plastic all heated up and I think it looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna get my mold all clamped up and I'll show y'all this. So I'm not sure if I said this or not already, but I'm gonna be making Cincos. These are for my cousin. He's buying 2 bags of these. And I'm going to I should be releasing or finishing my website pretty soon. So should be able to see that pretty soon. But let's get these gloves back on and get my injector. Let's get my injector set up first because we'll do that. Hopefully the nozzle of this injector doesn't come out in this video. Really hope that that doesn't happen because it's happened pretty much every single time I try to make a video. Bring our plastic over here and scoot our flake and pigment off to the side to make room over here. So this step, I like to stand up. Y'all can see the mold. Okay. Suck all this up. So now, let's hold it upright, let the plastic go downward. Make sure that we don't get any air bubbles in it. Let's inject this baby. Okay, this injector is being kind of bummy. Not wanting to top this off. So I'm gonna make a risky play. I think that's already all set up for the most part. Yeah, it's already all set up. Well, probably doesn't help that my injector wasn't hot. But it'll be hot for the next batch that I make. So let's heat up this next cup of plastic. So well, that's the last round of heating up. Go ahead and these have set up for long enough. Go ahead and see how they turned out to make sure that we don't need to remake them. And they feel, the top of it feels pretty good, so that's a pretty good sign. And I don't see any dents, so successful. Let these sit for a little bit longer, then take the runner off, and before too long, be making another batch. Okay, got our plastic all heated up, and we're gonna be adding this Carolina Pumpkin by Lure Works. Give it a nice good shake. And now let's give it 5 drops. This is gonna need a lot more than 5 drops. I'm gonna give it another good shake because I don't know if I shaked it good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that was a lot, but it kind of didn't do anything with 5 drops, so went ahead and added a couple more. Not bad, but I'm gonna look at the picture real quick that I have, which I'll put up on the screen for a minute in just a second. Okay, so I looked at my picture and I think that it needs to be darkened up, so I'm gonna shake up this black and I'll use this black to darken it up some. And I'll only put like 2 drops because it just needs to be darkened just a hair. 2. So that should give us the desired color. And I apologize if I'm doing some loud clanking. Don't mean to do that. It just kind of happens whenever I stir it. I think it needs to be a little bit darker. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and add 3 more drops. And see how this turns out. So glad that I finally got in some more colors. Now I can actually make a wide variety of things, not just one thing over and over and over again. Alright, that looks pretty much the exact color of the picture. So you're gonna stir this up. It's starting to kind of clump together, so after I do this glitter, I'll have to reheat it before I inject it. So let's start with this green. Real quick, I'm gonna look at the picture just to see what the flake ratio is, to see how much I actually need to add. Okay, just looked at the picture again, and it's a good bit of green, like I'd say like a scoop of green to maybe a quarter of a scoop of pinkish color. So we'll start with that much. Not sure if y'all can see that, but that's an entire scoop of green. So now we'll mix this up. Golly, this is going pumping up insanely fast. I mean, just in the small amount of time that I looked at the picture, it's insanely clumped up. I can't even hardly stir it. I'm gonna try to get all the other colors added, or all the flake added to this before I heat it back up. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I can barely stir it right now. I don't know if y'all can see that, but barely sticking to the handle of this spoon. So let's heat this back up. Okay, so heated it back up and looks pretty dang good. Not mad about that color right there. So now let's add the pink. I'm gonna take my gloves off again. Just a minute. We'll be pretty much done with this color. We'll just have to heat it up, or not heat it up, inject it. And then for me personally, I am doing one bag is 8 baits for Senkos, just because it's that easy to make, or it's pretty dang easy to make Senkos, because my mold shoots 4 at a time. Wish it shot 8, but that's all the expensive molds that shoot 8 at a time. So now let's get this pink flake, and we'll do like half a scoop. That's about half a scoop, maybe a little bit more. Wish I had some smaller pink flake to do this color with, because if y'all look at the picture, which I'll put back up on the screen at the end of the video, it looks like it's like smaller flake for the pink. It's like a lot smaller flake, but I mean, get that a little bit closer so y'all can see. That looks like a pretty good color. So that's a lot of cooled down plastic. So in order to save as much as this as I can, I'm gonna put that like that, and then I'm gonna get my glove on if I can. Take this and slide this down so that way I can save as much of this plastic as I can, and it doesn't go into the sides. So now we're gonna go to the spoon once more and rub that together to get that to go back down. Put this in the microwave for 10 seconds, and then it'll be done. So while that's heating up, go ahead and show y'all. Made these baits. This is using, it's orange with red flake. Made that using the Essential Series soft plastisol from Do It molds that came with my kit that I got. And so I'm pretty sure that should float. And then unless I'm mistaken, since it's made for salt water, it should sink in fresh water. And so that'll be a lot better, because I won't have to buy like bait salt or anything like that until well, now, because I just ran out of that's essential, or not the Essential Series, the hard plastisol for salt water. So let's move this over here. Try to get my cup in the frame so y'all can see this entire process that I do here. There's the cup. Gotta put on the other glove for this. Move this a little bit more centered. Dang it, it's not heated up enough in order to do that yet. Great, now I gotta let this cool down so I can get all this plastic out and use this plastic. Maybe I should have put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. It's not hot enough to burn, but it's not hot enough to burn, but I just didn't want to wait 30 seconds because I'm really excited to get this done, because I get paid after I finish making this color. So that's why I really want to make this color and the other color. But I do have to go meet my cousin first, and I gotta let these sit for at least 72 hours. That's my standby rule. Before you can go fishing, you let them sit for 72 hours. And I bagged up some of my other baits, and those are all, I sold some of those to some friends, and then I gave some to my cousin and uncle because they live on a lake, so that way they can test out my colors. I made sure to tell my uncle that the bait isn't catching fish. It's because he's not fishing it in the right areas, because since they're made by me, his cousin, it's 100% a guarantee to catch a fish. So I like to give my cousin crap. But that plastisol is done heating back up a little bit. Very hot. Alright, give this a stir. Once again, apologize for the clanking. Okay, let me close this microwave real quick. Make sure my injector's on. My injector cap's on good. And let's suck up all this plastic. That's a big air bubble. Spin this around a couple of times. Make sure all the excess plastic kind of drip off. So now we gotta let all this plastic go down and catch up with the other plastic. And then go until plastic starts coming out to make sure that we don't have a huge air bubble. So there's plastic. So now inject it, baby. Okay, that's all done. Okay, top that off. So that should have a little bit of a better runner this time than the other one, because I was struggling to top the other one off because my injector was not wanting to work. No, don't do that, because that's how the thing comes off. So now let's clean out this injector. Alright, that's all done. So while that's cooling down, we're going to do what some people would call an experiment, but we're going to take these two and we're going to come into the bathroom and I'll fill up the sink so that way it doesn't get boring for y'all to have to wait for the sink. But got our watermelon red that's made with soft plastic, or no, hard plastic stuff, and then this one is made with soft plastic. They're not, it's two different types of plastic. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, so sink is finished filling up. As y'all can see, water in there. So this is the hard one. Hard plastic. It sinks. This is the soft plastic. Part of it floats. See what happens if I just set it down? Yeah, it floats. And what happens if I just set this one down? It also floats. But if you put a little bit of weight on it, it goes down and stays down. So a little bit of weight on that one, goes down and then part of it comes back up. Might be because there's a little air bubble right there. Okay, I just popped that air bubble. Let's see if it still floats. If I pick it up and set it down gently, it floats, but if I push it down, it does not float. Okay, so experiment. Both sink if they have a hard push down, and they both float if they have a light push down. Okay, this is all cooled down, so let's open this bad boy up. Dang, this mold's good at making them all stick to the same side. Not sure how I keep getting so lucky with that, but that's how they turned out. I think that they turned out pretty good, dang good for my first time ever making this color. But I like to fish with this color, so we'll be using this. Hopefully I can get it to focus in right there. So I think that this color did pretty good. We'll definitely be keeping this recipe on hand, so that way I can make this again. But looks really good. So now let's finish making, let's reheat both these plastics and make both these colors again. Then I'll show you all the finished products. Okay, so while the last little bit of baits are cooling down and setting up, I am going to do a little bit of an experiment that I've been wondering on for quite some time. So I'm going to make black and blue color. This is the last bit of my Essential Series Plastisol, about half a cup. But I'm going to see if that by using this swim bait mold that is made to be injected, if you can pour it in with a regular cup or with the cup and see what will happen. I'm really curious about this, and I want to know how this will turn out. So already almost looks like a kind of gray, so we need some more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that should be plenty of black. And I'm going to be adding blue flake to this. Make black and blue. Oh yeah, that's what we want. Alright, now it's time for the blue flake. So let's try to get this all the way from the zipper so that none of it falls out everywhere. Okay, that was being really stubborn to get open. Okay, we're gonna do a scoop and a little bit of change on that. Just see where this gets us. I'm really excited to see if this will work, because if so, it will save me a lot of time whenever, and I can always just reheat small amounts of plastic to get it done. So that looks pretty good. I think we're gonna leave it like this. Come on. I'm trying to get my thing, my clamp off, so that way I can now bring it over here. So after we do this experiment and let it cool down, and we'll let it cool down, and I'll show you all the baits that we've made thus far, and then we'll get to see the other baits, and then after that, this cools down, show you all these. So let's just start stacking some of my molds together to kind of let this have like a little balance, so that way it's kind of even. So, you know, I kind of like it whenever it's even. Need a little bit more, so let's see. By doing that, it's good enough. Alright, so let's get it. Well, it would probably help if I had the mold side up, or the whole side up, I should say. So now I do have to redo this clamp, but it's pretty easy to redo the clamp. I'm spinning it the wrong way. Alright, there we go, that's good. Alright, we'll use the knife instead of that. So, adjust this a little bit. So we've got our hole right here, and we've got our plastic. So let's just kind of slow pour this in, and we'll see what happens. If this works, that would be kind of crazy, but if it doesn't work, it's okay, because you can always just use this and inject this mold regularly later. Okay, let's see if that's enough plastic. Take our little thermometer here, touch it down on it. Okay, that was not very smart, because now all that plastic's gone. And I think that was majority of the plastic that we've poured so far, but it's okay. We're learning. Like I said, this is just an experiment. This doesn't have to work. Okay, let's let that drain down for a second. Okay, so we're gonna let that cool down. While that's cooling down, I'll scoot y'all over here, and we can undo these. This is our colors I'm not sure of the name of. Looks good. You can really kind of see the colors there. So now, this is probably very controversial, but a lot of people, they don't like to pull it off instantly, but I like to take my knife and come right here and just cut through it. So that way I don't damage the bait by squishing it or anything. And it also gives it a nice flat edge. So there's my my runner. Okay, so let's set this over here to the side. Now, let's let y'all see everything we've made. Okay, there's everything we've made. Got one bag of baits right here, and one bag of baits right there. So, see how these look. see how these look. So now let these sit for 72 hours and then we'll bag them up. I won't show the bagging and packaging on this video, probably show it on a later video. But now let's just wait for this black and blue to finish cooling down. See how this turned out. Okay, that should be long enough, because I'm not going to wait the full time. Like, it's cooled down enough to touch. But I'm not going to wait the full time, because this is an experiment. Okay, so looking at this, experiment fail. This came out like that, so doesn't work. But looking at this, I could probably add a little bit more blue. So this was a good learning curve, or good to learn. So that's gonna be all for this video. As always, shout out to Spoken For Baits. If y'all have any ideas for any colors, please let me know. Catch y'all on the next one.